this right here is the part 2 to the counseling theories, and my topic was about the Gottman's theory. So I'm picking this back up from part 2. If you missed part 1, you're gonna have to backtrack and click the link. If you're on part 2, you're trying to find out about part 2. We left off at the stonewalling. So stonewalling was the ending to the 4 horsemen of apocalypse. To get a better understanding, you're gonna have to go back to the part 1. So this is part 2. In part 2 discusses Gottman's theory on how to. So once you identify these 4 in your situation and whatever it is that you're going through, because the thing is, like I said in part 1, we all have our own stories. And when I mention these 4, you might be able to relate, but if we relate together, like I have my own criticisms, defensiveness, contempt, stonewalling, but so do you. You have the same 4 as well. So I cannot say that this is going to be the same situation like if it was me viewing it, but I could definitely say that it goes back to the concept. The concept's still the same. And we're trying to find out the problems and the issues so that we can take care of the issue on the spot and discuss it and get it over with so we can find a way to move on with our lives from it. So from the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, this is discussing the part where you can predict divorce about to happen, breakups, however it is in a relationship. But the thing is now if you can overcome these 4 and like I mentioned in part 1, you can surface your issues, that gives you the part 2 where you can come and wipe it out. So the best way to do it is to discuss it. When you discuss your issues, when you talk about the stuff you guys go through, or with the couples, when they go through what they go through, it gives them a better understanding and more of an acceptance. So once these 4 horsemen of apocalypse are overcome, it comes to the part 2, which is the 9 stages or the 9 principles that it takes to make sure that relationship lasts as long or forever, or like I said, our own stories, however you see it. So basically it means this is the negatives. Now I'm about to go on to the positives. But we needed to be aware of the negatives first. So anybody who's in training for marriage counseling, or who's deciding or who's wanting to conduct a practice that's couples therapy, this is the 4 that you're going to need to make sure that you can attack or address the situations that cause the problems to begin with. So now we're going to go on to the second part, which is how to maintain it now if after they realize that, or he or she, so on and so forth, realize that these 4 concepts are the ones that are causing the negativity in the relationship. The next one that I'm going to talk about is the 9 principles of maintaining a healthy marriage/relationship. So in this one, all this what I'm going to read to you after, this is more research based. This is research based all the way, actually. I shouldn't say more. This is research based. Now, John Gottman, the theory behind all of this, he interviewed and he studied hundreds of couples. Now, what he did was, there was all kinds of things he did. Like what we're doing right now, we're recording. You're recording me, I'm presenting. But the thing is, they do records, they check weird things. They view, they watch, but it goes back to, they check, example will be stress. So I spoke about stress and what you see. Stress. So here's the thing. When they check stress, they check the heart rate, they check the sweat flow, they check the blood pressure, and they also check their immune function. But that is the whole thing where the body reacts to what the brain is thinking. So this goes back to, it's like goes up and down. So what John Gottman developed was, he called it the sound relationship house. That could mean however you want it to mean. So these 9 right here, I'm gonna read to you all 9. I'm gonna go over them after, but I want to start by filling you in with the 9 principles of maintaining a healthy marriage or relationship. So we're gonna start with the first one, which is build love maps. Second one will be express fondness and admiration. Third is turn toward one another. Fourth, accept influence. Fifth, solve problems that are solvable. 6, manage conflict and overcome gridlock. 7th, create shared meaning. 8th, trust. 9th, commitment. Now, the last 2 is trust and commitment. That's self-explanatory. The thing is, trust is trust, commitment is commitment. We all know what we're talking about when we talk about those 2. So, I'm going to put those to the side. I want to explain to you the first 7 because those are the most important ones that you guys are going to need. So the first one I want to talk about is the build love maps. This is the part in the brain where the couples, so what you want to present to them is that this is the part in the brain where they know what that person, partner, spouse like and don't like. From what they like and don't